everybody. My name is Paul Bright, and I'm a student at North Central State College in Mansfield, Ohio, and I will be interviewing my friend and teammate, Kenny.
Echo.
Okay, how do you spell that?
ECO.
ECO. That's very easy to remember. I'll just maneuver the interview and let him progress the conversation on the history of the Philippines and where he's been and what he knows about the country. So, go ahead, Kenny, if you have any 4 words.
Okay, when you asked me to do this, I would like to preface that the last time I've been there was 2 summers ago, was when we visited my family for the first time since I was 7 years old, and that was when I came here. It's when my stepfather met my mother, and then he traveled to the Philippines. They met for the first time in person, and then they made arrangements to come here. And so me, my sister, which was I think 17 years old, and I was 7 when we came here in 2003. So pretty much, when you say intercultural, the culture I was exposed to was definitely, I was exposed enough in those 7 years to something different. Like, I knew what I was born and experienced. That 7 years is different from what I'm experiencing now from 7 to as of now, right now, 19 years. Mm-hmm. And also, when I came back 2 summers ago from that first time that I, came over here, is you can it supported just pretty much the difference between exactly what I've been living here with. And I guess if you want to know really what my initial impression was when I went back to the Philippines, was that it's literally somewhat, well, I think I was talking to my mother because I was asking my cousins, like, hey, would you ever want to go to America, mm-hmm. ever? And they said, no, we're happy here. And so I told my mom that, and she'd been in the Philippines since she came over here, which was, 2003, so 12 years ago. So, and she's 50 right now, so, 38. So from all her life to 38, she said that it's pretty much a survival. That they don't care what's happening in another country, unless it's for entertainment. They do their best to survive for the day and just get their food and be satisfied with what they have. And that, I think, as...
Now, the Philippines is mostly a second world country, or is it a first world country?
It's a third world country.
Third, okay, I'm way off. So what
well, regionally, because Manila, our capital city, when we flew there, we arrived at Manila, which is the main, and then we took, I don't know how you would say it, I guess a region flight to, like, the different islands where we stayed at. So Manila was definitely not third world. The people are third world, because you can see there's beggars and everything, but yeah, there's beggars everywhere. But there's, like, stories of the building. There's, like, 10-story building with different floors that have different things. It's not just one whole level of the Donald Trump Tower. It was, like, you would have an apparel store of Nike here and then a video gaming store. And the weird thing about it is that we go to this small city called the Davao City, which is where I went to school when I was, growing up until 7 years old, and there's a mall, Gasana Mall, just like the
I've
rich.
Heard the top 3 biggest malls come from the Philippines.
Yeah.
In the world.
Which is weird because that third world country, because you look around, and you see the people they have rice plants, and it's not a machine taking all that rice plant. It's actually an actual person digging, grabbing it, mm-hmm. and going to fields like that, and then you go into a city, like a big city, and you have this mall that has 10 floors, where the top is food, and you can see outlets of stores just there, and the region that it covers, so it's so big, and like, how can a third world country put out like that? Like, I've never been to Africa, but if Africa is what I envision it to be, it's how I'm taught to be, it doesn't seem like it matches up. So it was a really weird experience.
Okay, well, thank you for the background on that. So you've total spent about how many years in the Philippines?
7 years.
7. Okay. And there's 100 million people. They just tabbed 100 million people just last year on the 7,107 islands. How does that weigh in on just the population and the density of the population and the islands and everything?
When you say tab, there's so many places that they don't keep a tab of. So there's actually many, many more, because when they're keeping tabs, they can only keep a tab to some sort, and then you get some that are lost in the way, you know, they would export the document or whatever, or how they can lost count. Because in the Philippines, they don't care about keeping everything orderly, keeping track, So whether that's true or not, I don't know. But density-wise, if you think of India, how dense it is, and the roads where everyone's driving whatever way they want to, and driving as much or as wherever they want to, that's exactly the Philippines. The roads are clogged up. Everybody wants to
That's
go here.
what I hear.
That's for major, you know, one, like we also have like highway. We don't have these highways that you say, but like a highway where there's a plant field here, a plant field here, and it's two, and you're driving. There's buses, and like transportation, we have a bus, just like how you guys would have, and then you pay for your fare there, and it's a 2-seat. When they fill up the 2-seat, they start taking benches and putting it in the middle of those 2 seats. The seats are like this, facing each other.
Okay.
And you have a bar. You hold on as you're sitting like this, and you would literally be looking at the person in there, and then they're gonna try to fit it as many. So they're gonna put a bench right between us, right there, and people will sit on that bench. So between the space between you and I right now, there's someone there. They're going to be facing over there. And once all of that is fit, and they still need more, people be on top of the bus, holding on. So it gets very, very clogged up.
That's what I was wondering, because I know they had problems with renting like cemetery space from people that passed, and they actually have to pay for the plots on a rental basis. Is that how do people afford that? Like, I mean, really, that's just another bill, right? Basically.
Yeah. Well, what is missing in America that is very strong in the Philippines is family ties, where the grandparents, the kids would live around the grandparents. So your parents would live like a house beside your grandparents. And not only that, the best houses will be the grandparents' house.
Okay.
They will always put money in the grandparents' house. So if a grandparent would die, all the people of the family would pull in money to buy that plot of land. So yeah, it's a lot of, if it's only one person, but because we're so tight-knit in that family, we pay everyone.
That's interesting. Because I'm thinking 7,000 islands, man. That's a lot of islands. I know Alaska has like 2,000, but that's 3-4 times as many. And I just, I'm wondering how that country kind of utilizes the space, that special type of space. But awesome. Well,
And I'm not even taking into account actual islands, not really, with the geographical look of the Philippines, it looked like a dog. There's the front paws there. There are even, so if you have the face right here with the legs and arm, there's even islands right there that trail off like archipelagos.
okay.
And I can't even take into account that because I've never been to those islands. But there's islands there that probably the density would be even greater because they can't afford to just move into the bigger islands. They're satisfied with where they are. They just do their best.
Excellent. All right. And is there anything else, lastly, you'd like to share with the class and wherever else this video ends up?
The only major impression it leaves you when you go from first world to third world is spoiled. I'm spoiled. I go to the Philippines and I go, holy crap, I'm spoiled. My family in the Philippines, my family just got inner tubing, inner plumbing.
Okay.
Indoor plumbing.
Indoor plumbing.
Indoor plumbing, sorry. And used to, and we still do actually at times. We cranked out that water from the faucet, and then and so now we have it so that we can crank it, and it'll get water to our kitchen. We just got refrigerators, and we also just got stalls for bathrooms and cleaner toilets, and we also got lights within the stalls for the bathroom. So far, my family is trying to get a shower. We haven't yet. We still pump water into a big giant basin and scoop it up. So,
So how about since I'm taking this intercultural communications class, what do you think about the Filipino-Americans in this country and how they've assimilated and how they sort of managed to go from living in the Philippines to living here?
Okay, the people that you see here, the kids that are here, most of them, if they're young enough, grew up basically an American. They experience an American. They don't know what the Philippines is like, and then if they go back, they'll. I can guarantee.
Freak out.
I can guarantee 90% of them are gonna go. I want to go home. This is terrible. Cause I had that feeling, and I lived in the Philippines. I've experienced it before, but I had that feeling, and then I started, gaining some humility and being. This is my heritage. What? Don't freak out. And so, but the people. The adults that does know what it's like over there, they're doing their best to make a living right now, and go the farthest they can. So, you'll see why our hospitals, there's so many Filipinos in the hospital working. That's because they're busting their butt, and they know that's a field they can get a lot of money on. That's why Filipinos go into the nursing field a lot. I don't know if it's very major in this part, but I know in a lot of parts, Filipinos are in hospitals, and they're just everywhere because they know they can make money, and if they put their 100% effort, they can get into the field. So you have that contrast of the people that were born here, and basically Americans, that are still spoiled, and those that do know their heritage and are doing their best living.
Well, excellent. Thank you, Ken, for
welcome.
sharing. And that's it from us in Ohio.